Welcome back to the Culinary Vegetable Institute. Chef Jamie Simpson.
Farmer Lee Jones, along the beautiful shores of Lake Erie.
And that's the name of the show, right there, in the kitchen. We're gonna walk through this. Finally, some real elements of spring are making their way in this box. I can see it from here.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, I like you're saying, it's this box is really, it's like a walk through the garden.
It really is.
Mother Nature's gift to us on every day seems to change just a little bit.
Right, and the best of the season box is appropriately named. You know, it is what it is. And in this season, the best, we're gonna highlight a few of those. Asparagus, right? Rhubarb, onions.
I find myself saying, this is my favorite time of the year,
right.
You know, and I get to summer crops, but then I get to the fall and I'm like, I think this is my favorite season, but I don't know, spring is just been a long winter, and now we get into some of these spring crops like the asparagus and the rhubarb and the wintered over spinach. And
you know, until this year, I never really appreciated how fleeting this season was. I mean, it's coming and it's going as fast as it came. It's here.
it is.
So, this asparagus, we've got a few varieties here. Like these dark purple varieties. These light green, this size would be what?
Baby?
Mm-hmm. Pencil. They're, you know, when we start to see the asparagus this size, they're great. They cook so fast. They're on and off the grill, on and off the pan, the oven. It's just a super delicate, simple. They're full of moisture. They're picked every single day. How many pounds do you think we're pulling a day?
You know, it depends. It's so weather sensitive. You know, it can make a difference between walking the entire field and getting 47 pounds or walking the field and getting 370 pounds.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. This is not your grocery store scallion. I guess appropriately named spring onions. Literally, onions in the spring.
And we plant them in September.
Right.
Which makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, so these have been in the ground for a while, and they're some of the first things that really start pushing out of the fields.
Right.
They're so juicy. You know, the whole onion is edible here. They're full of moisture. They're not like dried or cured. They're very volatile. They
smell so good. I wish we could pick that up on the film. I mean, it's not overpowering like in your face.
Right.
It's like an onion that you're gonna cut and your eyes are gonna cry, but it's
right.
it just screams spring.
Put them in, throw them on your grill, just grill them whole.
Don't you think the grill's so underrated for vegetables?
Yes, definitely. You know, also in homes, if you don't have a grill, I think, and we wrote about it in the book, one of the most underutilized cooking, devices in your kitchen is the broiler function on your oven, right? This thing goes to like 450, 550 degrees. It's like the hottest piece of equipment most people have at home, so it's great for these kinds of things. You just turn that thing on, get it as hot as you can, and throw all of the onions in. They'll just kind of burn on top, and pull them and cut them up. They're great.
I love them like that.
Yeah. Now this guy, another fleeting moment of spring. Tell me about this.
Well, our county, because of the amazing microclimate, hosted nearly 330 vegetable growers, peaking in like 1930. And the soil that we're on is all old lake bottom, some of the richest sandy loam in the world. But Mr. and Mrs. Fry were two of the best growers in the county. We always raved about his rhubarb. His rhubarb was the best. The color was the best, the flavor was the best. And whenever we could get any extra from him, we grew our own, but when we could get a few baskets from him, we would buy it from him. Well, when he passed, he willed us his rhubarb stock. And it was really about respect. He knew that we respected and were reverent to this rhubarb.
Right.
And the only way we ever sell it is as Mr. Fry's rhubarb, as an ode to Mr. Fry.
That's great.
And so it's an amazing product.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. Okay, well let's get into this.
Yeah, let's put some dishes together.
Okay.
You know, my theme is keep it simple.
Uh-huh. Okay. Good.
I'm doing spring fling. That's the name of my dish.
Okay, cool.
Spring fling. So
Yeah. What we're gonna do is brown a little butter, just lightly, and then we'll cook our vegetables in that butter. We'll build what's called a roux right on top of that veg set, and then finally build what's called a bechamel onto the roux. And it's basically real simple: flour, butter, some kind of dairy. We're using plant-based dairy today, oat milk, and we'll it'd almost eat like a risotto when we're done. Moving on, in order of firmness, as we mentioned, scallions. So we're going to start with the bases. They're obviously tougher. They'll take longer to cook. Not much, a little bit. We'll move on to the tops towards the end of the dish. You can't really overdo it with these spring onions. You know, you can eat a bowl full of them. It's not like like a traditional onion. They're just sweet, delicious, really good. I think I'm gonna add a little more. So you also see leeks in your bag. The leeks are, they're a different animal. They're a lot firmer. They're very French. It's the base or foundation to a lot of things like mirepoix. You'll see it in vichyssoise, which is a potato and leek soup. Really a great addition. Now they're different because, well, they're a lot less moisture. They're a lot less sweet, and you can't really eat them raw like you can with these spring onions.
you can always tell the difference in a leek and an onion. The leek's going to have a flat leaf.
Ah, yeah.
The onion's going to have a hollow leaf.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Rhubarb's one of those things. You've got to be in and out, because once it's done, it's done. I love working rhubarb into savory dishes because it brings a lot of acid into the dish. It's a nice bright element. Anywhere you might want to squeeze a lemon or something is a good place to incorporate rhubarb. Okay, so I mentioned we were going to put a roux. What that means here, a little more butter. With the flour right in there. Now you want to let your roux cook a little. You can't just go straight in. Ideally you want to just let it get the brown in a little. Let it kind of hydrate and cook.
That's good.
Okay, so dairy. The roux is cooked, and we'll start to build that bechamel. Turn up the heat. Right when it comes to a boil, you're going to start to see it become more and more thick. We'll add liquid as needed. We just want a creamy kind of sauce, almost coating all of these beautiful spring vegetables. Okay, salt. Those spinach stems. The green onion tops. And we're gonna finish this with a little marigold. It's got like this, orange zest, orange soda almost aroma. It's a really nice young citrus kind of smell. Rock and roll, that looks great.
Hey, all about simplicity.
Yeah, perfect. We got like a couple 5-minute meals in here. We've got a couple more to be had. That looks good.
It's so approachable.
Yeah. We always say, when it becomes this time of year, cooking just gets easier.
I mean, it's about the ingredients. I mean, the less you can do,
Right.
I think the better.
All you really need to do is get it on the plate.
Get it on the plate.
Don't
Cheers.
screw it up. Cheers.
Here's to spring.